How are you doing, gardeners? Ed Snyder with Fresh Picked Acres of Kansas. I'm happy to have you along today. We have a couple new additions here on the farm, and that would be our newest beehives. We're happy to have these guys. I came out just a little bit ago and I seen the hives are already active. We're going to be in the 90s, and the bees are coming and going, which is very exciting. You can see them doing their thing. Kind of mesmerizing to watch them. So Bruce and Sue Lane are nice enough. They're fellow folks that we know at the farmers market, and dealt with Sue. Seen her quite a bit in conversations, and a wonderful person she is, and got a chance to meet her husband. This all began when I was out in my cantaloupe and watermelon, and I realized I do not have any bees in there. I don't have them working. Now, previous years in my pumpkins, I have a tremendous amount of bees. So the question came up with me having all this cantaloupe bloom. Well, where is the bees? Did the bees locally die off, which is a possibility, but whether viruses or freezing or the beekeeper has decided to sell off his hives, you know, numerous things. And it was a very interesting conversation listening to Bruce, and I want to take us to our conversation, and in addition to showing the bees actually working our cantaloupe and watermelon. So sit back, enjoy. This is a shorter video than many, so but if you like these types of videos on farm life, go ahead and hit that like button and hit that subscribe. Come grow with us.
This morning, gosh, it's heating up fast.
Yeah, I'm happy to help you lift them.
Well, just kind of scoot. I gotta lift them a little bit. Scoot them.
Just scoot them over.
Yeah. Yeah, I got 2 more to do, but they're called nukes or half hives. There's only 5 in each one stacks. So it's 2 of these, and then I got another one on there. So
you got a super on it.
3 foot tall, because these are all swarms that I caught.
Okay.
And I got another box to put on that one.
Okay.
And then a super on this. So I got some stuff I got to put on after.
So you're not done after you put this on, yeah?
They're gonna be mad.
Yeah. Well, this is the right, I mean, yesterday and today, these are the last 2 opportunities till it gets hot, ain't it?
Yeah, it's, I think about a week, and then the highs are going to be in the 80s.
Okay.
But the nights are it's going to be 70, you know? It's going to be very cool.
Yeah. The times that I just have a hard time with is when you get them 80-degree lows, you know, and you're like and it's like you just don't get any relief. It's no good for livestock. It's no good for anything. Let me pull that back and
In there, isn't it?
Yep, there you go. Now we can kick it back. There we are.
But yeah, and you know, the humidity.
Yeah.
The humidity's high like that. At night, they don't even go all the way in.
Yeah, they just beard up, don't they?
Well, they got to stay out of there because it gets too hot in there.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking I was going to run into, but it dropped.
Yeah.
80 in the mornings. It's always high, and then it dropped down.
Yeah.
But this one's a little lighter.
Let me help you pick that up. Here, I don't mind.
I got my wound vac off yesterday.
You did. Good for you. Whoop. Yep, you want to face them south, don't you?
Yeah. And we'll just clear it over to the side.
Okay.
This way, if we want to bring out 5 more, we can.
We can.
Yeah, I was surprised that they may have.
I see there's a couple escaping.
Yeah, well, there was.
Or they hung on the outside is what they did.
Well, they were already flying this morning. I got there at like 6 o'clock. I tried to get there as close to daylight.
Which way would you like this? All the way
Clear
over?
on the end.
Okay.
And, you know, that's the way it goes. I wanted to have breakfast and have some coffee, and then by the time I got over there,
yeah.
And today's trash day. I'm gonna move my car up.
Yep, you move it up and we'll straighten it out. Let me get this guy.
I almost wonder that, you know, at night, not all of them come in.
Right.
They're still out there because they were already bringing pollen in over there. There were some that had some really bright red, and the shumac's about ready to. It's green.
Gotcha.
All along this fence line down there, the sumac
Okay.
is getting ready to.
Yeah.
And I think they'll get the pollen off that if they need it, but I'm hoping they're gonna work what you got.
Yeah. Oh, I tell you, there was quite a few on the on the cantaloupe yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's good. I mean, and with everything, I mean, we're just going to have more and more and more blooming right now. So
when you say that, is that bumblebees or honeybees?
They're actually honeybees. Yeah.
Really?
Somebody's must have. How hot? I mean, what's the farthest a bee will go? 4 miles.
They normally say the rule of thumb is they'll forage 2 miles. But they'll really, we just had that fun day, and there was a professor gal, the colleges pay them, they get a grant and they study bees for the rest of their life. But she said that
put a dot on them and identifies that particular.
It takes a really adult bee at the end of its foraging, like 6 weeks before it dies. It can go 4 miles.
Okay.
And normally they'll say just 2 miles, but she said in that discussion that they really go about 1 mile.
Okay.
When they're going that far, it's because they got to search for something.
Right. So adding some shims to make sure that it drains.
Get these off of here.
Yep.
Pull those off and.
Yep.
Something I don't normally do that I did on these was because I did it on the ones I got to do is put these screens on the top so they don't come out of there.
Right.
Because I got to lift those off of there, and I'm gonna have to smoke them.
Yep.
I think.
Yeah, that you can do on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that that up there where you turn the corner, I think it's only maybe a little over 1 mile.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sweet clover, but it's about done. The white, as soon as the yellow's done, the white blooms. So
what do you fill that with to smoke it?
I got wood chips in there.
Just any wood chips, or?
Yeah, and I've used corn stalks, or back when the guy planted corn, I went out there and picked it up when it was dry.
Right.
And then I used that, and then there's stuff you can buy, but I'm cheap. Like those guys go around and chop up stuff. I dump a whole truckload.
Yeah.
I said, why don't you just take that, talk to your boss and just take it down to my bee yard, which they did.
Yeah, that's nice.
But
yeah, perfect.
The only thing about that is it burns pretty hot, and you got to not get it too close, and sometimes that flips up, and I haven't caused a fire yet. I've been doing it for 8 years. If it opens up and then that falls out, especially when it's dry.
Yeah.
But if you take that log and cut it this is the log, the circle, and if you cut that this way, it comes out really fine.
Okay.
And then it makes a huge pile.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll fill up a wheelbarrow easily. I got 2 of them in the garage that I've had sitting in there drying. They were dry when I picked them up, but I just never have got to it. How many moths are out? Well, some of those moths are wax moths. There's a greater wax moth, and they smell this comb, the wax, and then the protein is the pollen they put in there. And if you get a weak hive, I was over there, and I'm like 3 days later I went back, and it completely, I mean, they put a webbing in there, and
so they actually made it inside the hive?
Oh yeah, if it's weak, they'll get in there, and that's what beekeepers, one of the things you're supposed to do if you got a weaker hive, or it's not as many bees, you need to get your equipment down because they can't protect it.
Okay.
There's, you know, there's not enough bees to protect it.
Okay.
From the hive beetles or the wax moths.
Okay.
So,
isn't that something?
Just like in 3 or 4 nectar flow for them to build it.
Yeah.
And you got to have the right bees. Don't do wax until they're like 12 days old.
Okay. Ah.
So
you got it. Yeah, a person's got to know their craft.
right.
They got to know their craft.
But I think probably what happened was I had 16 hives. They were all on a 16, 17-foot trailer, and some of them were stronger than the other. And the stronger hive, even though they had many acres of sunflowers, they robbed it. Once they start robbing, they robbed that out and took their honey and probably killed some of the other bees. And then this is a queen excluder, so she can't get up there and lay brood into your honey harvest
Okay.
stuff.
Gotcha.
As long as she's already laying and fat,
Yeah.
a virgin queen could get through there.
Yeah.
And the worker bees can get through there. So these all have comb,
Okay.
but they'll have to lay it up and put some pollen in there.
Okay.
So it's usually honey, depends on how big the nest is. And then they'll put pollen next to it so they can feed the larvae, the babies.
Okay, gotcha.
So I'm thinking, if it's totally empty, they're going to work your stuff to get it filled up.
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I thought I was going to bring some other hives.
Kind of do a little psychological to them there. Just say, hey, look, you got this open space here.
So they may not do a whole lot with this super. There's already like 3 or 4 frames in there
that they've started.
That they've worked on. And that's one thing for me, that I've been doing it that long. I still don't have enough supers. I mean, I got like
they even got comb on the excluder, don't they?
Yeah, that's kind of, that gets to be a pain in the butt, because I like to get it off there right as I got lazy. I got a torch and just heat it up and drop it off on the ground.
Yeah.
So they may not do much more with this, and it's almost capped. I think these 3 in the middle.
Okay.
But you got a lot of season left, and you got a lot of
it's early.
Stuff
Yep.
That
it's early yet.
They'll get this worked up, and they'll be thinking they need food stores for the winter. So we'll just see what they do. No big deal. This is called the inner cover.
So 5/16 is the magic.
So you got to put those together, and if I forget to get a frame in there, I mean, if you don't have a frame and you miss one, they'll fill that up just like little engineers, exactly like it needs to be.
Yeah.
But it may be too wide.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I've done a lot of scraping. They treat the bees and put the
Now, how long have you been a beekeeper?
8 years. We started in about the time I planted my grapes.
Okay.
We went to training. We went to the training class. Well, we haven't stopped going to the training.
Yeah.
And you always have some type of a stick to lift it up. Okay. So it'll breathe.
Gotcha.
Because the bees produce a lot of heat, and if you don't do that, it'll put moisture on the top of this, on the underside of this bottom board.
Yep.
And then it'll drip down on them. They get wet, and then they'll get chilled, and they'll kill them. So they got to have enough airflow. Anytime you make noise like this, it's like they come out and they're naughty. They're naughty. It's like, has a skunk been here scratching on the front?
I gotcha.
A coon or a possum, or
sure.
And then they'll attack. Not really attack, but they'll come out, and the guard bees. Yeah. They got 7 or 8 jobs, and the guard bees will come out and investigate. And sometimes that's how you get stung.
Yeah.
All right, you might want to get back there. I'm going to take these
Okey-doke.
pieces off.
Yep.
And they'll either run or they'll be nice about it. No.
Yep.
They're not even moving.
Yep.
They will.
Yep.
A lot of times they come flying out of there because
Yeah, they're ready to go.
on the ride and everything else. So.
It's still pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that other one stacked, if I clean up the back, because they're so skinny, I'm worried about, I got to take them one at a time where I got to go, and it's west or north of Auburn on Auburn Road.
Yeah.
But I've got some terrain to go over and go through a ditch. I'm worried about tipping over even though I got it strapped down. We'll see. If I have to, if it gets, before I get it all done, I can put them in the back, inside.
Nice. Glad they're here. Very good. Yep. Get out of there, bird.